what's up, everybody? Welcome to our Sunday conversation. This week, we got a big one, baby. St. X head coach, Coach Kevin Wallace, trying to get the Tigers back into the championship game. Here he is here. Coach, man, you left the high-pressure winning Bowling Green for the higher-pressure winning St. X, Coach. Coach, you just love a challenge?
Well, that's part of it, I guess. The other part of it is I have the capability of retiring in the public school system. So from a financial standpoint, I am drawing a retirement check and then able to continue to work and do the things that I still love. So I knew some people up here, not a lot. When the job came open, I knew that my wife and I both were retired from public schools and had the capability of maybe doing this. I don't have a big family. I'm an only child. Both my parents are deceased, and my children have all, they're on their own careers. So while I've lived in Bowling Green all my life, it seemed like a good time that if I wanted to try to branch out and do something different, that I would. Still miss a lot of people there, spent the first 57 years of my life in Bowling Green and still consider that home today. And, was tickled to death for them to be able to win a state championship this year. Those guys that are seniors were freshmen when I left. And obviously a lot of people on that coaching staff had worked with me while I was at Bowling Green. As a matter of fact, their principal right now was my offensive coordinator. Their superintendent was my first defensive coordinator when I was at Bowling Green. So there's still a lot of ties between me and Bowling Green.
How has it been putting your stamp and implementing your system and your West Coast on this program, a program that doesn't normally hire outside of its family coaching tree? So how big was that for you?
Well, I've been told that a few times that they don't really go outside of the St. X lifestyle very much, but just from a work environment, this is a great place to be. There's a lot of talented people in this building. It's a great place for a young man to come and get a very well-rounded education. It is different. Every place that I've been has been a little bit different. Louisville in general is different in terms of the idea of student acquisition and trying to create interest of young people to want to come to St. X. And that's true about every program in this city. And that's not something I think that unless you've been in Louisville, that it would be impossible to explain. It's been a true educational experience for me. In terms of bringing a system in, obviously what we were trying to do offensively, the things we did at Bowling Green were difficult to bring here just because there's a difference in the type of player that we have here. And we've obviously found that to be difficult. We've been a lot better defensively over the first 3 years than we have been on offense. And we're trying to find the right things to do in terms of giving our young men the best chances to succeed on offense. And I wouldn't say that if somebody came and watched us play, that we would look identical to what we did at Bowling Green. But a lot of that had to do with, I turn on the news and I see the Ohio Valley Conference Offensive Player of the Year was D'Angelo Wilson, and he was a wide receiver for us. And you watch Navy play, and Jamel Carruthers is starting for them, and he was a running back for those last state championship teams there. And I can go over and watch Louisville play, and their starting center fielder is Luke Brown, and he got drafted by the Yankees 2 years ago, and that's another starting wide receiver on that last Bowling Green State championship team that I coached. So, I was really lucky to be around a lot of talented players and coaches when I was down there. And while we have a different group here, it's a little bit different skill group at St. X than maybe what I had at Bowling Green. And like I said, we've been pretty good defensively. We think we'll be really good defensively this year, and offensively, we've kind of struggled at times, especially against higher level competition. And you still want to try to get our best athletes the ball in space as much as we can.
Well, Coach, your first year in, you took on the two Titans and beat them in the regular season. So you started off with a whirl. But, Coach, man, just kind of tell us what's it like from the outside looking in competing against these two perennial programs year in and year out, Coach?
Well, nobody told me that when I came here that, the group of sophomores that would be lined up at Trinity might be the best class that they'd ever had, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And that's made things difficult on all of us. And then obviously Male has things lined up really well in terms of getting talent in her program and then developing that talent there. And it's not just those two. Manual does an awesome job of getting kids in, and I think they're an underrated program in this city. And Coach Carmen and his staff do a great job getting out and creating interest in their program. And it's very difficult, and that's what we're judged with. I mean, nobody at St. X celebrates a state semifinal appearance. It's the difficult thing is that St. X hasn't won a state championship since 2009, and I don't think that that doesn't mean that we want to do anything less than that. And certainly, I didn't venture my way up 2 hours up the road to think about doing anything other than that. But thinking about it and doing it are two different things. You're obviously having to win at the highest level in this state. And Trinity and Male have set the bar awful high for the last decade.
Now, that's one thing that I really wanted to talk to you about. You come from Bowling Green, you were kind of like the dominant program there in that area. Granted, there's a lot of competition there. And looking, everybody kind of knows about the Louisville scene. What has been your biggest, I guess, insight of actually being in it now, Coach?
A lot of the difficulties I think that I didn't understand going in are things that happen off the field. Just in terms of how things are established with where young people play and how you make contact with them. And, when you live out in Kentucky, there's a true definition of a young man going to a junior high and then going to his high school. And, open enrollment up here creates a lot of games being played off the field that I wasn't used to. And you got to get kind of good at those if you're going to be in competition for the elite players. And that's a little different. Louisville's a little different world because of how enrollment works in this town. And, obviously the other part of it is every week that you're going to play, you're going to go against talented guys. I've made the comment to our staff a lot of times that when we had really good teams at Bowling Green, you might not have but 4 or 5 weeks during the entire season where somebody could legitimately win against you. And now I look at our schedule for next year and I scratch my head about when you're going to be able to take a breather. There are no breathers on these schedules. And that's a difficult process too on you because it wears on you as a coach. You can't let up on your preparation. You really never feel like that you have a comfort level in terms of any week that you're getting ready to play. But that also brings a little juice to you. And I do like that challenge.
The coach, man, over 300 wins, a lot of success on your behalf and with some great programs. Kids going to different schools, different programs, and dealing with COVID last year. How has all that affected you?
Educational experience is what that was. It's not anything that in my 36 years of coaching that anybody ever did anything to prepare me for the type of things that we did last year. It gives you further proof, though, that young people are much more resilient than we are as adults.
Yes.
I thought our kids handled it. Whatever the change was that we needed to make, they kind of went along with it. And when the green light was finally given to us to finally get together, nobody was happy about it than our kids because I think they were tired of seeing my face on Zoom. They were tired of doing workouts on video that we would present to them, and they just wanted to be together like young people want to be. And, when we told them, hey, we've got to do this is the regulations we have about the locker room, this is what we've got to do on the field. I think they moaned and groaned about it a whole lot less than our coaches did. And they were just happy to be together. And I'm glad that we got to play the games that we got to play. But I've never experienced preparing for 3 different teams in a week. And I got to do that last year because we were going to play Manual on a week where by Tuesday they had to cancel for COVID. On Tuesday afternoon, it looked like we were going to play Bull County. And so we went to Wednesday's practice preparing for Bull County, and that kind of fell through. And then on Thursday afternoon, we were actually on the practice field, still trying to think about the fact that we might play Bull County, and we figured out that DeSales had an opening and we were going to play DeSales. So I can't take any credit for the coaching preparations in that game because we didn't do much to prepare. When you get a chance to play on Friday, you go play. And never would have dreamed that we would do something like that. So from that standpoint, like I said, it was totally an educational experience.
Now, Coach, man, you lose quite a few seniors, but it's still fairly a young team. Who are you looking forward to or expecting big things out of this upcoming season? I know you haven't gotten into the spring game, they ain't got to see a lot of kids, but just going off last season.
Yeah, well, we'll start spring practice on May 12th, and look forward to getting our guys together. We were really young on the defensive side of the football, and we think we have good young talent there. Sophomore Jackson Panarola was our leading tackler. He already has an Eastern Kentucky offer. We think he's a guy, when more people get an opportunity to see him, is going to have a chance to play at the collegiate level. Very talented guy, as a basketball, football player. Micah Carter obviously is a name that people that keep up with recruiting have already heard. Micah was in a tough situation last year where he got COVIDed out twice just because of contact tracing. He had an injury late in the year. He only actually played in 3 games. But Micah already has multiple Power 5 offers. He's 6'5", 260, and can run. When you have those type of combination things, good things usually happen to you. We would just like to see him in a St. X uniform, healthy and playing a little bit more than we got to see him play last year. But he's got a really bright future ahead of him. He's also a guy that plays basketball. And Teddy Myers is all 3 of our down 3 guys, Teddy Myers, Leandre Maxwell, Micah Carter, are all back. And we think that all 3 of those guys are talented enough and big enough to be able to play at the collegiate level. So the defensive front should be the strength of our football team next year. Offensively, the 2 guys that probably are most well known that'll be back are 2 wide receivers, Makai Smith and Michael Duddy. Makai's been making plays for us for 3 years, and we look for that to continue.
All right, Coach. Now, looks like you guys are loaded to make a nice run next season. What's your plans or blueprint for this offseason headed into the season?
I mean, the plan obviously is get bigger, faster, stronger, just like it is in any offseason. And we are fortunate enough to have a great facility and a good strength coordinator in Joe Tenius. I'm sorry, Joe Tronzo. Joe Tenius is my superintendent at Bowling Green. Kind of get those names mixed up, huh? But Coach Tronzo does a great job with our guys, and we've been getting after it since January, looking to ramp up the finish to our weight program this spring, and have a great spring practice and get to it in the summer. Obviously, Male has a significant number of players back and a significant number of high-level Division I kids. Chris does a great job with them, and I think they're obviously the favorite in 6A. Anybody that wants to discount Trinity needs to have their head examined. And I realize that they had a ton of seniors, they had a coaching change. You take all that you want to take, but when a program gets used to winning, like they've been used to winning, somebody's got to go beat them. If anybody thinks that those folks are just going to roll over and die on Shelbyville Road, then you probably haven't been around the game very long. So I think those 2 are going to be the 2 people that you still have to beat. As I mentioned a while ago, Manual has done a really good job of expanding their talent level and developing kids over the last few years. And I think that they're in the mix. Ballard always has talented people. And it'll be interesting to see if there's anybody out in the state that really can challenge at the 6A level. But we hope that we can develop our players and stay healthy enough, which has been a big bugaboo for us, in particular the first year we were here. I think injuries killed our chances to have a chance to compete to win a championship. But hopefully we can stay healthy enough and improve enough to where we can be at least in the conversation with those 2 that have kind of taken the reins of 6A for the last decade.
Now, I see at quarterback you had Edgar coming back. Edgar, is that Salvari?
Jack Savory.
Okay.
Jack actually started in the regional championship game against Mail as a freshman because we had lost our top two quarterbacks. And then I mentioned the injury bug. Jack actually only played in 2 games as a sophomore and missed the season with the shoulder surgery. He only played in 2 games last year and then had to have an ankle surgery due to an injury in the PRP game last season. So we need to be able to keep Jack healthy. We played in the playoffs last year with another quarterback injury. And actually, when we the last 2 games played Mekhi Smith at quarterback, basically running a Wildcat offense when we beat North Hardin and then when we played Trinity in the playoffs. So we really hope we can keep Jack healthy. We've got a young man that'll be a junior in Adam Boone, a couple sophomores that we think have a chance to compete. And obviously, if we have to slide Mekhi in there to do some Wildcat stuff, he's got pretty good experience at doing it. But the luck of being able to stay healthy needs to be with us at that quarterback position because we have not enjoyed that since I've been here in the 3 years.
And Coach, you speak about Murder's Row, and everybody you got to face just in Louisville to even get to the state championship game, and then may face another Louisville team in that state championship game. Who else on your schedule should we be on the lookout for?
Well, we're gonna start the year by traveling over to Owensboro and gonna go play the top quarterback in the state. And both of the teams that won the 6A championship, 6A state, well, the 2 6A and 5A state champions, and the runners-up are all on our schedule. So we play Bowling Green, Owensboro, Mail, and Trinity. We also play Elder out of Cincinnati. I think that Central has a lot of guys coming back. Central St. X has been a long time game that's been played here. It's a traditional game to be played in Louisville. So they're obviously always on the schedule. We're going to Northern Kentucky to play Ryle during the season as well. And then obviously our district games are huge, and everybody knows about the Trinity game. It's just had a little bit different atmosphere last year with it not being at the stadium, and kind of who knows what's going to happen with all that this year, whether it's at Cardinal Stadium or whether it's on one of our campuses. If it is played at a campus, obviously it'll be at Trinity this year.
Coach, you had nothing else to do. Coach, you just wanted to make it harder on yourself.
It's part of it. I mean, that's that coming in, that's the kind of schedule you're going to have at St. X. And honestly, with the KHSAA implementing the RPI, that's only made scheduling more difficult for the teams that are at the top.
We saw that hurt Douglas in the playoffs. I think it hurt them because they had to go on the road.
Well, it's very difficult to get games. And then the fault I see in the RPI structures, it doesn't really reward strength of schedule. It rewards being able to schedule teams that you're going to win against that also are going to schedule games they can win. And then the out-of-state thing really puts a hurt on you because every out-of-state team on the RPI is seen as a 5-5 team. And I don't think that. Yeah, Cincinnati, St. X, and Elder, the kind of out-of-state teams we're playing are not 5-5 teams, but they go into the computerized RPI ratings as a 5-5 team. So, unless you win all your games, you're gonna pay a little bit of a penalty for having to play out-of-state teams, and obviously, bottom line is you go in the playoffs, you're gonna have to go on the road at some point. You're gonna have to beat great teams. So, I've kind of put that kind of stuff out of my mind. Don't really worry about it a lot, but I do think it's had an impact on people not wanting to play you. And we obviously don't have the problems that Trinity has. If you look at Trinity's out of district schedule, it's predominantly out of state. We play them, Mayo plays them. Bowling Green played them last year. I don't think they are this year, but they pretty much have to go out of state to play. Mayo obviously is playing a game in Louisiana this year. So you get to it's great to get to the top, but it's difficult to schedule when you
get one other thing real quick. How is Miss Wallace taking to the move to Louisville?
She's the boss. And anybody that knows our family knows that she's got a great athletic background herself, and I'm blessed to, she's a perfect coach's wife. Somebody played in 2 Final Fours, and my sons are 6'5" and 6'7", and that has nothing to do with me. Dana has, she's got family that lives up here. Her sister lives up here, and her mom has moved up here with us. So that's kind of helped her relocation, kind of getting used to Louisville a little bit. And like I said, she's living the retired life. So right now she's in Key West. So, I don't think she's complaining too much.
Well, I appreciate it, Coach. Like I said, man, I'm pretty sure we usually like to catch up with the top teams in the playoffs, and you ain't heard from here first, Coach. I see us going far this year, Coach. We win and we ride, Coach.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, Coach, no, you don't appreciate it. Coach, what that was, when we called the kiss of death. That's the Coach. You can walk out of your office and tear your ACL, Coach. He just jinxed you, Coach. I'm telling you right now.
Do that to me.
We've been able to do enough of that on our own. We don't need any additional help.
Hey, I'm the rabbit's foot, Coach.
Yeah.
And look, like you said, Trinity, we ain't count them out, but they kind of rebuilding for Trinity's sake. Mayo's gonna be kind of tough, but hey, it's ready for us, Coach. St. X Tigers all the way, Coach. We win and we ride.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Coach, thank you very much for doing that with us today, man. We definitely appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Yes, sir. Man, great interview with Coach Wallace, man. Spoke about the prestige from at St. X and how great it is and sky the limit for this young team here. Hey, St. X should be back in the championship race again soon, Coach. As always, let's be a living donor. I'm Coach Bew, my man, Coach TB on assignment. Coach Truck, anything else?